Welcome back to Slow Damage. Let's continue. I'm very glad it does have that new thing. As soon as he found out my right arm was broken, Taku rushed out of the room. When he came back, he was carrying a bunch of supplies. He sat on the bed and got to work. He put a cast on my arm, then bandaged my palm too. After he was done, he gave me some pills and said they were painkillers. For a moment I hesitated to take them, but his gaze was so intense I really couldn't say no. My right arm was still burning dully. Taku quickly cleared away the dog barking, quickly cleared away all of his tools, and stood next to the bed gazing solemnly at me.
怪我が治るどころか、どんどん増えていくな。
そういう勝負なんだよ。
He fell silent, his brows knitted tightly.
お前がこんな目に遭うのは俺のせいだ。お前にも言われた通り、それはよくわかってる。
His words were dripping with self-loathing, then he closed his eyes.
もうこれ以上お前が傷つく姿を見たくない。遠野には前から何度も頼んでるんだが、もう一度お前だけでも解放してもらえるように頼んでみるよ。
お前は？
俺は。
He swallowed bitterly and stared down at his feet.
お前をここから無事に逃がすことができたら、薬の開発を放棄する。
I stared at him silently, trying to parse what he meant.
今作っている薬は未完成だが、それでも強力な中毒性が出る場合がある。おまけに摂取した人間を廃人にしてしまう副作用付きだ。遠野はそんなものを新興民の外にも広めようとしてる。薬が流通したら、薬を求めるゾンビみたいな連中が新興民に押し寄せてくるだろう。それだけはどう考えても許容できない。だが薬はもう最終調整の直前まで出来上がってる。完成間近だ。
He let out a heavy sigh.
とにかくお前だけは必ずここから出られるようにするよ。
He smiled at me sadly, then set a blister pack of pills on the table side.
痛み止めと睡眠薬を置いていく。何かあったら電話ですぐに呼んでくれ。
He scribbled a number on a memo pad on the side table, probably the room number for his workspace. Then he straightened up and walked out. As the door quickly shut, I stared at the floor. The painkillers hadn't kicked in yet, and my arm burned like it was on fire. But the pain didn't matter right now. If Tono found out Taku helped me escape and trash his research, he was dead meat. Surely he knew this. And yet he sounded like he was prepared to die. I laid myself down on the bed. The motion made my arm hurt, but I ignored it. I could only think of one way to get both of us out of here alive. We needed the rest of the world to find out about this drug before Tono had a chance to show it off at his stupid party. To that end, we needed the help of someone on the outside. I could only hope that Ray could come through. The more I thought about it, the heavier my eyelids grew until at last they lowered completely. Alrighty. Wakey time. After all my sustained injuries, my body finally hit its physical limit, and at some point I drifted off to sleep. It came so suddenly I basically passed out. When I woke up, I still felt like shit. I tried to move, but I didn't have the strength. My head ached like someone was shaking my skull over and over. Boy, do I know that feeling. Using my left arm, I managed to get myself in a sitting position, but was immediately met with overpowering lethargy. Right as I finally sat up, however, the room phone began to ring. For a while, I ignored it, but it kept ringing and ringing. I figured it might be Tono, so I slowly reached and picked up the handset.
はい。
もしもし、その声、トワさんですよね。
エイジ。
はい、エイジです。
The answer? This was so unexpected, it shook me awake. A second later, the word tapped came into mind.
この電話は。
ああ、盗聴ですか？遠野さんのところの専用回線を拝借してるんで少しならバレません。
専用回線。
はい。遠野さんも盗聴は警戒してますから、極秘の話をしたい時のためのプライベートな回線があるんですよ。まあ、僕はそれを知ってるというか見つけたんで、今使わせてもらってるんですけど。
Smart.
ただ電話の記録は残るので、何度も使えば当然バレます。
Remind me to never get on this dude's bad side.
俺がこの部屋にいるってなんでわかった？
トワさんについているウェブタグの位置をたどったんですよ。
What?
ウェブタグ？
はい、ウェブタグです。
What?
つけた覚えがない。
でしょうね。
どういうことだ？
Yeah, no, Was it when we slept with Aiji?
さあ、とりあえずトワさんから発信されてることは確かです。
I was utterly at a loss. As I sat there in silence, Aiji continued.
ウェブタグ自体は普通にそこらの店で売ってます。けど、監視塔経由で位置を追跡するのは高里組で作ってる独自のアプリ以外は禁止されてるんです。主に負債者用なんで。僕もウェブタグの管理とかちょいちょいしてるんですけど、たまに不正なアプリが動いてたり、変なことをするやつもいるわけです。で、怪しいウェブタグと追跡情報が入ったんで、ちょっと調べてみたんですよ。そしたら、村瀬先生の情報が出てきたんですね。
What?
タグが。
はい。それでそのウェブタグの固有 ID を調べて履歴を見てみたら、主にトワさんの行動範囲になってたんで、もしやと思って今いる位置を割り出してみたんです。
なんで俺に？
まあ、普通に考えたら、トワさんが知らない間に誰かがウェブタグを埋め込んだんでしょうね。心当たりあります？手術とか。
Pick a day that ends with a Y. And that is the look of, I'm going to fucking kill him. Surgeries? When Asakura cut my back open, it was Taku who sewed me up. Could he have snuck it into me then? That was the missing piece of the puzzle. All at once, it felt like everything clicked. There were so many times when he had no idea of knowing where I was, yet he seemed to find me anyway. At the time, I figured it was good timing or lucky coincidence, but it wasn't, was it?
心当たりありました？
ああ。でも何のために？
さあ、トワさんがフラッといなくなるからどこに行っても分かるようにしたかったんじゃないんですか？それにしても先生もかなり無茶なことしますよね。先生は負債者にウェブタグを埋め込む仕事を高里組から任されてるので、テスト用に専用アプリの使用も許可されてるんです。
Taku! You're not on our side anymore.
でもそれってかなり責任重大ですから。なのにシステムを私的利用してたなんて知れたら重罪ですよ。まあ僕もこんなことしてるんで人のこと言えないんですけど。
Aiji laughed at his own casual disclaimer.
ですね。トワさんに何が起こってるのかレイさんから聞きました。レイさん、五十嵐君と会うってことだったんで僕も同行させてもらったんです。僕ずっと五十嵐君を探してたんですよ。だからラッキーって思って。あ、その時に五十嵐君から例の物を受け取りました。っていうか託されました。
He was probably referring to the drug samples Igarashi pilfered from the clinic basement.
それから クリニックは遠野さんに抑えられて一時的に閉鎖されちゃいました。なので五十嵐君とレイさんには僕の知り合いのところに行ってもらってます。
Good.
遠野さんでもそう簡単には見つけられないと思うので安心してください。
By the way, does anyone else have Windows 11 have this issue where sometimes, like when you click a window to get it to open at the bottom, maximize it after it's been minimized, it takes a moment, like a few seconds longer than it should? Why does Windows always suck?
そうか。パーティーの話は聞いてるか。
いえ、何ですかそれ。
タクに作らせてる新しい薬をプレゼンするパーティーだ。本土のやつらも呼ばれてるらしい。
はあ、根回しってことですか。遠野さんずっと高里組のやり方は古いって言ってましたもんね。それで人儲けできれば榊さんを出し抜くこともできると。そのパーティーまでに薬を完成させたいから村瀬先生をせかしてるんですね。
タクが完成間近だと言ってた。その前に何とかしたい。
わかりました。先生とトワさんの状況はどうです？
よくはない。
というと？
タクは薬の開発を放棄するつもりだ。殺されることになったとしてもな。
それはまずいですね。確かに一刻も早く何とかしないと。僕の方でも動いてみますが、薬の試作品だけだと正直遠野さんを潰すにはちょっと弱いと思うんですよね。なので関係者である村瀬先生にも協力をお願いしたいんです。
何をすればいい？
まず薬の完成を遅らせてできるだけ引き延ばしてください。それと本土の警察に証言をしてもらいたいんです。今回の件について話せること全部。もちろん先生も捕まることになります。でも殺されるよりはマシですよね。
そうだな。
証言するしないは置いておいたとしても遠野さんに加担してしまった以上覚悟は決めてもらわないといけません。先生にそう伝えてもらえますか？
わかった。
助かります。また電話するのでその時までに先生に話しておいてください。僕もこれから準備に入ります。
ああ。
Just then, a question rose in the back of my mind.
お前は遠野側につかないのか？
僕ですか？
There was a pregnant pause.
僕本当はこうなる前の進行日の方が好きだったんです。めちゃくちゃですけどカオスなりにバランスを保ってるところが面白かったっていうか。なのでどうせなら今の進行日全部ぶっ壊しちゃった方がすっきりするかなって。
変なやつだな。
トワさんほどじゃないですよ。それじゃあ切りますね。トワさんまた。
And with that, he hung up. With Aiji's help, my chance of escape had skyrocketed. I set the phone back on the cradle, and just then there was a quick knock at the door. I heard a whir in the door unlocking, and when it opened, Taku peeked in.
調子はどうだ？
He walked to the bed, carrying a first aid kit under his arm.
まあまあ。
そうか。ガーゼと包帯を取り替えよう。その前に体温を測らせてくれ。
He set the first aid kit on the bedside table and took out a thermometer. Specifically, it was an ear thermometer. With my left hand, I pressed it to my earlobe. Meanwhile, Taku neatly replaced the gauze and bandages on my wounds. The thermometer beeped to let me know it was finished, so I handed it to Taku.
少し熱があるな。夜は眠れたか？
ぐっすり。
睡眠薬は？
使わなかった。
そうか。疲れてたんだろう。
He went into the bathroom and returned with a cup full of water. Then he pulled a bunch of different pills from the first aid kit and handed them all to me.
ほら、飲め。
I slowly sat up, washed the pills down with the water, then lowered myself back down onto the side. Exhaling, I closed my eyes. I wasn't sleepy a few minutes ago, and yet I could feel my consciousness floating down into the dark. It had to be an effect of the pills. In a blink, the pleasant floating sensation whisked me away to slumberland.
もういいだろう。トアを解放してやってくれ。
それについては何度も答えたはずだがな。
The sound of voices tickled my eardrums, and I opened my eyes a crack. Through my fuzzy vision, I could see gentle lighting and someone facing away from me. Sounded like Taku and Tono were talking.
トアは何も関係ない。
こいつを逃がした後、お前が仕事を最後までやり遂げるという保証はどこにある？いやいややってるのはこっちもよくわかってる。だからこそこいつを巻き込んだんだ。まあ仮にお前が逃げたとしても、地の果てまで追いかけて必ずお前を見つけ出すからな。けじめはきっちりつけてもらわないと困る。
分かってる。
本当か？ならいい加減仕事を終わらせてくれ。じゃなきゃお前の周りの大事なものがもっと危険な目に遭うぞ。
薬は必ず完成させる。トアを愛人にしたのはどういう魂胆だ？
To annoy you.
魂胆も何もそのまんまだよ。こいつも乗ってきたしな。
男もいけるのか？
いや、ただこいつは例外だ。お前こそ相当永遠にご執心のようじゃないか。
Don't touch.
それなら俺の気持ちもわかるだろう。
Don't touch Taku's bitch.
これ以上トアに構わないでくれ。
無理だな。いいか村瀬、トアは俺の愛人なんだよ。俺がトアをどう扱おうとお前には関係のないことだ。
I love them doing two polar opposite games together, this and Snoot.
それにこいつを愛人にしたのはお前だけでなく榊にも効くと思ったからだよ。
榊さんに？
トアがいれば榊も下手に手出しできなくなるだろ。だから手放す気はない。なんと言われようとな。おいおい、鬼みたいな顔してるぞ。大丈夫か？何度も言ってることだが、お前が仕事を終わらせればすべて丸く収まる話だ。お前がノロノロやってる間にトアが俺なしじゃいられない体になっちまうかもしれないぞ。いいのかそれで。
お前、
そんな目で睨むなよ。どうせトアは今までも散々いろんな男と遊んできたんだ。陰媒なんだよ。首輪でもつけておかない限り縛りつけることなんてできない。それでなくてもとんでもない暴れ馬だからな。トアがあまりにも勝手な真似をするようなら勢い余って殺す可能性もある。そこまでしないと止まらない。とんだ跳ねっ返りだ。とにかくお前は早く仕事を終わらせろ。わかったな。だく大事なパーティーが控えてるってのにデスマッチエリアの方で面倒事が起こるしよ。勘弁してくれ。
何かあったのか？
デスマッチエリアの参加者が大勢2日連続で半殺しにされたんだよ。犯人がまだ捕まってなくてな。うちの連中も使うことになりそうだ。正直そんなものに構ってる暇はないんだが、ある程度の体裁を取り繕っておくのも大事だからな。五十嵐も見つからないし散々だ。
Haha, he's hiding.
つい愚痴っぽくなったな。それじゃよろしく頼むよ、村瀬先生。
Tono gave Taku a quick pat on the shoulder and left the room. But even after he was gone, Taku kept staring at the door. I was fully conscious, but I didn't call out to him. Then finally he left the room. I think we're getting close to the ending. I don't know if this has multiple endings. Well, we know it's not AI. They know how to draw toes and hands. I was alone. Like always. There in the locked room, I lay curled in a ball in the bed with a blanket over my head. Nothing but terrifying silence. It's cold. It hurts. Can't breathe. I want to go outside. I want to run around. I want to explore. I want to talk to somebody. And if I can't do any of that, I want to hold someone's hand. That was what I yearned for. My hands were always being grabbed and yanked, but never held. I want to hold hands. Lude, I don't care who it is. I want to lace my fingers with theirs. Just then a giant dark shadow leaned over me. For a moment I braced myself, but then a dry, coarse warmth enveloped my hand. Relieved, I relaxed my body. I couldn't see the shadow's face, but I could sense that they were worried about me. Their calloused palms rested atop my hand and gently squeezed. It was deeply reassuring. I was just so happy that someone was holding my hand. I woke from a distressing dream. At some point, I had drifted back to sleep. My whole body was slick with sweat, my ears ringing, and my breathing was elevated. But at least the crushing feeling in my skull had receded slightly, probably thanks to Taku's pills. Slowly, I eased myself up into a sitting position and let out a breath. Every time I moved, my body, my vision swayed. For a while, I sat still, but then I noticed my throat was intensely dry and started craving booze. Using my left hand, I pushed myself off the bed and inched my way to the mini fridge. Then I opened the little door, grabbed a bottle of random without even looking at the label, uncapped it, and immediately started chugging. The chill of alcohol felt good, clearing a bit of the haze from my mind. After I drained it, I sat the empty bottle on the table, and a moment later there came a knock at the door. I figured whoever it was would let themselves in with the keycard, so I waited for that to happen, but it didn't. Dragging my leaden body, I walked to the door. On the other side, I found someone I belatedly realized was Taku. At first, I couldn't tell because he was hanging his head, and I couldn't sense his usual energy. He felt like a different person.
Taku.
I called out to him cautiously, but he walked in without responding. I closed the door, then turned and watched him walk to the other side of the room. He wasn't acting like himself. His smoke had turned dark red. Many tendrils swayed like smoldering embers. To me, it looked like he was trying to hold something in.
ずっと考えてたんだ。
He came to a stop, his back turned, and finally he began to speak.
何を？
お前のことを
He looked over his shoulder, his expression concealed by shadow.
一つだけ聞きたいことがある。お前は本当に誰でもいいのか？
うん。
A question was so sudden I couldn't parse what he meant, and I frowned slightly.
相手が遠野だろうと何だろうと誰でもいいのか？
急に何を？
答えてくれ。
He cut in loudly, and I blinked at him dubiously.
誰でもいい。正確にはどうでもいい。
Yeah, you should know that if you know him well enough.
それは行為そのものが好きだから誰でもいいってことなのか。
I don't like where this is going.
妥協してる。
妥協？
本当は全力で暴力を振るわれたり傷つけられたりする方が興奮する。でもそんなの好き好んでやるやつなんてそういない。だから妥協してる。盛り上がって発散する瞬間だけは似てるからな。暴力もセックスも。
わかった。
He muttered quietly, then slowly turned to face me.
俺がその望みを叶えてやる。
Literally now is the worst time, bro. Wait till we're free. He pulled something from his pants pocket. A small scalpel. His eyes glint darkly as he stared me down. Then, the next instant, he lashed out with the scalpel in his right hand. Instinctively, I recoiled backwards to dodge it, but the motion made my body ache. With my broken arm, I didn't have my usual flexibility.
お前。
He swung the scalpel again, and I dodged sideways, but I staggered and tripped over my own feet. He leapt in that motion, and the tip of the blade sent a sharp pain shooting through my cheek. With my gaze fixed on him, I crouched down and edged backwards towards the door.
逃げるな。
Fuck you, bro. With a growl, he charged at me. Then he grabbed me by the shoulders and slammed me against the wall. Hey, look, Taku Daddy, can we do this after we escaped and I've healed up? He was so strong you'd never know he had a gunshot wound. As he crushed me against the wall, I slid down to the floor.
やっと捕まえた。
Okay.
Oh my. Negative. No.
What were you planning to do with that?
俺は
Positive. 答えてくれ。
Am I really stressing you out this much? Have you given up on everything? Have you given up on everything?
いや
No. Right. Did you quit thinking of yourself? For yourself? I told you this is a conclusion I came to.
お前は
You said you'd grant my wish.
あ
Maybe wait on the wish. You psycho. This is gonna go
Negative.
worse for us.
へえ。
Trying to copy Euphoria? Well, I played it for. Tell me what led to this.
ああ。そうか。
Spill it. Tell me what led to this.
と
なあ。
You didn't like my answer? Suddenly, he raised the scalpel high into the air. He's going to kill me. We get a bad end. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I felt myself accept it. Not like my life was important or had any value. I was gonna have to die sooner or later, right? Now it was looking like sooner, but so what? This thought process took less than a second, and yet, to me, it felt like an eternity. Oh. Okay, this is interesting.
Positive.
Itch! He swung the scalpel down. Quietly, I closed my eye. There was a strange, airy sound as the impact collided with my body. Confused, I opened my eyes and saw the scalpel sticking out of my right arm. Or more accurately, the cast. Taku gritted his teeth like he was biting something back as he stared at the scalpel. His stiffened cheeks were trembling faintly. For a split second, he looked deeply fragile, like he could shatter at any moment. I wonder if that's a change. I reached out my left hand and cupped his cheek. The instant I touched him, he snapped to his senses. His face crumpled, and he flung the scalpel to the floor. Then he pulled me into a tight embrace. Aw, you shouldn't have tried to stab me. So tight it made my bones creak. So tight it was hard to breathe, but I didn't pull away.
できない。
His breathy, quivery voice brushed against my ear.
ダメだ。やっぱりお前を殺すなんてできない。
殺す？なんでそんなことになったんだ？
俺の力じゃお前を守りきることができない。
大好きな母親の形見が遠野の愛人になってそんなにショックだったのか？
違う。
I was pretty sure I had the right idea, but Taku denied it firmly. His eyes were shining with determination. I love the art.
昔は確かにお前の母親に憧れていた時期もあった。だが違う。そうじゃない。
Sorry.
いつの間にか自分でも本当に気づかないくらいに変わっていたんだ。
He hesitated and fell silent.
俺は
最近お前の夢を見る。
夢？
ああ、大体の夢は悪夢だったって感覚が残ってるだけで内容はよく覚えてない。けど最近は夢の中でお前がいるってわかる。
Taku's lips curled in self-deprecation.
悪夢としてか？
いや、夢の中の俺は子供で何か恐ろしい存在に怯えてる。けどお前が出てくると安心する。お前から傷の治療や診察を受けてるとき、夢の中と同じ懐かしさを感じるんだ。
Taku closed his eyes and pursed his lips like he was trying to hold something in. When he opened his eyes again, they were brimming with resolve.
俺は
I could hear the pain in his voice. I gotta get him to talk.
何を引き出す？
Okay, I was for sure thinking we were getting a bad end in there.
「母親の身代わり」。お前は俺と母親を。
その話とは関係ない。
Okay. I'm off base.
タクが持つ傷は ずっと見てきた。
Nope, that's not it.
そうだな。すまない。
Oh. There we go.
過保護。俺に対して過保護だってレイは言ってた。
だろうな。ずっとお前のことを気にかけていた。子供の頃から面倒を見てるんだ。そうなるのも仕方がないだろう。
Find out what changed Taku. Done. We just have one more scar to open. Gotta find out what Taku's true desire is.
お前の望みを教えてくれ。
俺が本当は何をしたかったのか。
God, the music reminds me of Persona. It's driving me fucking up the wall.
タク。
うん。
Okay, yeah, that one's fine.
Negative. どうしたいんだ？
Do you have something to hide? Nothing like that. No, he didn't like that. Trying to keep him sane.
Positive. 話せ。
Tell me, then tell me the truth.
そうか。
よし。
Looks like you already know the answer. I do really like this game. I know it's not for everybody, but the story is interesting. I'm interested to know what it... I also want to know our character's backstory. Hey, you want to die with me?
どうしたい？
そう。
I considered that. Taku was terrified of what might change if he confessed the truth. He was scared that I would reject him and then things would never go back to the way they were before. And no amount of me telling him otherwise would truly convince him. The only thing that could prove it to him was all the time we spent together. What I felt with him over the years that led to today. I would have to talk about it.
タクが持つ傷は。
It really does bug me how much it reminds. I guess I need to look up, or someone should look up, is this game's music done by the Persona person? I don't know a huge amount of Persona. I am still very new to Persona. I know people want me to do more Persona games, and I promise you, if you guys do, I will either do them on the secondary channel or do one on the main channel. But Persona, I have a Shin Megami Tensei, a Devil Summoner? Devil something too I have. Got it. First
ず
try.
っと見てきた。お前とは長い付き合いだ。
お前はおとなしい子供だった。静かにうつむいて俺の診察を受けていた。注射にも声一つ出さず、こっちが不安になるくらいにな。だから気になって仕方がなかった。頭の片隅にいつもお前のことがあった。
もう迷うことはないな。 全部お前にとって譲れないものがあったから、そのためにやった。そうだよな。
そうだ。
Now kiss. Damn it! I broke him! Fuck!
子供の頃からお前をずっと見ているうちに、いつからか守りたいと思うようになったんだ。初めは純粋な親心みたいなものだった。この子の成長をこれから先もずっと見守りたいと、そう思っていた。
So let you guys in on a little fun secret. You might be wondering why it's paused. So, mid-recording, and this will be probably cut out, there was a giant crash. No, I didn't have anything drop on my head again. Shut up, everybody. I don't know what happened, but a dog brawl started out in the house, and they were just running around fighting. And it's play fighting before anyone gets mad. All three of them were involved in it, and they were bumping into everything. So I still need to build the guinea pig cages, so they bumped into one of the broken guinea pig cages, and after this I'm going to be building a guinea pig cage. Everybody's fine. It was just really funny. Just came out two really confused guinea pigs on the floor.
だが、お前が成長するにつれて、何か俺の中で違う気持ちが芽生えているような気がしたんだ。それも長年見守ってきた情なんだろうと思ってた。そう納得してたんだ。お前がボロボロになって帰ってきたことがあっただろう。
I thought back to that day. The shootout that took my right eye. At Shinkumi General Hospital, Takaru moved my exploded eyeball. Personally, I didn't miss it much, but it must have changed me on a subconscious level. Granted, I was always a bit of a vagabond. After that incident, I stopped coming home almost entirely. That said, I was living alone in a condo that Sakaki acquired for me, so I wasn't too attached to it. It was around that time then that euphoria first started painting people's desires too. As a result, I started getting injured more often, and Taku would chew me out while he administered first aid. Then he opened his clinic and I started coming by to get eye checkups. When I heard the third floor apartment was empty, I started hanging out there whenever I was bored. Then at some point I progressed to sleeping there. Taku always rolled his eyes at me but never tried to kick me out. On the contrary, he said it made my appointments a lot quicker. After that, I officially moved in. Later on, I went a little overboard and got badly injured during a euphoric episode. I was still an amateur at reading people, and that guy did a number on me. As I walked down the street dripping blood, I was sure I was going to die that night. The next thing I knew, I was standing outside the clinic. I could still remember the look on Taku's face. He was so enraged you'd think the whole world had come to an end.
あの時、本当は苦しくて、悔しくて、気が変になりそうだった。真面目な顔でお前の怪我の手当てをしながら、心の中ではパニックになってたんだ。自分でも抑えきれなくて、悩んで悩み抜いて、お前のひどい姿を見て一時的なショックを受けただけで忘れちまえば収まるだろうと。だがお前が朝倉に傷つけられた姿を見た時、また同じ苦しさがよみがえってきて、それで俺はお前を失いたくない、絶対に手放したくないって。 おふくろさんに似てないよ。
Sorry.
まったくな。
As he spoke, a small bashful smile crept up on his face.
お前のそばにいたい。できることならお前をずっと守りたい。
He hung his head like he had run out of energy.
本当にすまない。こんなことを言う資格は俺にはないんだ。お前にひどいことをしたんだから。
ひどいこと？
ああ、俺はお前に。
He gritted his teeth bitterly. Then I realized what he was probably about to say. I'm such a dick. This is where we're gonna leave it. We'll find out what Taku says next time. I actually don't want to do this, but I gotta take care of some pets. So next time we'll find out what Taku says. Thank you guys, and have a fantastic day, and thank you for the support. Even if these aren't your kind of games, I'm very glad you're checking them out on my channel. So bye guys.
Having a good time, you're doing